to you on the nature of light. While light is the fundamental aspect of existence, once we know what light is. And so I want to discuss first the nature of light itself. And then I want to go deeply into what we call the nature of light beings and rainbow bodies. By the way, I noticed that the spelling of the rainbow is incorrect, and so that's a typo. Never mind. I'll try and correct it later, but it's supposed to be rainbow, R-A-I-N-B-O-W. Okay, so what we're discussing today is this very important topic. All existence is light. And we are then going to go deeply into the nature of what it means when we use words like light beings and rainbow bodies, because that's a very important concept in Tantra, in also Vedanta, in Kashmir Shaivism, and in Buddhism. In fact, Buddhism has romanticized very perfectly the whole understanding of what we call rainbow bodies. So let me know if you want me to continue on this topic. I really want to hear from you. Okay, do you want me to talk about the nature of light beings and rainbow bodies and your nature? Ready? Are we ready? So let's examine light just from our current understanding of light from a scientific window, because that's a model that everyone kind of has confidence in. I have some confidence in the scientific model too, but total confidence comes from something else: experience and knowledge and experiential knowledge. But in any case, let's talk about the scientific understanding of light. So light is essentially electromagnetic activity. Okay, and there is something called visible light, and that's the 7 colors of the rainbow. Isaac Newton shone white light on a prism, and what he saw were the 7 colors of the rainbow. So that's called visible light. Okay. And visible light is everything that you see now on the screen, and look around your room, you'll see the same thing. Visible light. And what is visible light? It's all the colors of the rainbow. Okay, so right now, if you look at my bookshelf and look at my books, you'll see all the colors of the rainbow: red, and orange, and green, and of course blue. A mixture of colors that we can call brown, maybe, but it's a mixture of colors, entangled colors. So visible light is entangled colors. By the way, blue light, which is what I'm wearing, is what we call the most energetic light, just so you know, and energetic in terms of frequency, of vibration. And blue light is associated with what we call circadian rhythms, the cycles of night and day. And circadian rhythms, of course, connected to universal rhythms, right? Like seasonal rhythms, what do you call gravitational rhythms, what else? Tidal rhythms. We are part of the symphony of the universe. Okay, so blue light, what I'm wearing right now, is the most powerful frequency associated with circadian rhythms. So wearing blue synchronizes your rhythms with the universe. That's Vedanta and many other, the chakra traditions and Tantra. But we do know scientifically that blue light synchronizes with circadian rhythms, that it is also enhances memory, cognitive function, and many other things. And every color of the rainbow actually has a particular effect both scientifically, but now we know that these colors are associated, all these colors are associated in my tradition with mantras, and they're also associated with the chakras, with the junction points between consciousness and biology. So look at any object right here, and there's a direct connection to a mantra, direct connection to a color, and direct connection to a chakra, therefore direct connection to a mode of knowing in consciousness. It's very profound, and that's what Tantra deals with, and I've done a whole series on that, so check it out. But you can look at any object, connect it with the mantra, understand the junction point between consciousness and biology, and create a new experience, a new creative experience for yourself. That's a whole tantric discipline, Kriya and Tantra coming together, which I'll talk about later. But let's right now go back to science. Okay, so science, visible light, which I've just explained, but then there's invisible light, okay? And that's at both ends of the visible light spectrum, okay? So low frequency lights, low energetic lights are in the red end of the spectrum. So beyond red is infrared, which you can't see. But actually every time you use a remote control, you must have one to turn on your TV or the lights, that's infrared. You can't see it. But it's electromagnetic energy that switches on your TV or switches on your lights, etc., etc. So infrared is also part of the light spectrum, but it is not visible. So too are microwaves. Microwaves. You use a microwave oven, well, that's light. Okay. And it's low frequency light. So microwaves. What else? Radio waves, and television waves. The waves that are coming to you right now, electromagnetic waves, they're light, photons, but we can't see them. They're going through these walls, they're bouncing off satellites, they're entering all kinds of servers. Some of them, these photons go into space, bounce off a satellite, get into a server, come to you. We're communicating right now through radio waves or television waves or whatever you want to call them, but through electromagnetic activity. Infrared, microwaves, radio waves, which are the same as television, etc. That's one end of the spectrum of invisible light. The other end of the spectrum of invisible light are ultraviolet. So bees, for example, and many insects navigate through ultraviolet light. They find their positioning through ultraviolet light. We find our positioning through GPS these days, which is amazing too, right? So, but bees are smarter. They use ultraviolet light, which we also cannot see. Okay, so there's ultraviolet on the other end of the spectrum, very high frequency. Okay, X-rays, very high frequency of light. You can use X-rays to look inside the body, look at the brain, all kinds of things, soft tissues, bones, and then you can peer through matter through X-rays. Then there are gamma rays, and the brain produces gamma rays, high frequency gamma rays. In end of life, for example, when people are dying, there's something called lucid period when there's gamma frequency from the brain. Amazing, isn't it? And that's when some people have visions of dead relatives, etc., etc. Tunnels, all kinds of things. The so-called out-of-body experience, out-of-body experience, afterlife experience, gamma radiation, gamma activity of photons. And then there are even higher cosmic vibrations. They're called cosmic rays. Cosmic rays. So when people look through telescopes in space, they're looking for cosmic rays that emanated from the early universe after the Big Bang. So ultraviolet, X-rays, microwaves, all of that, radio waves, cosmic rays, all this light. Light is existence. If you look at today's unified field theories, then everything that we call electromagnetism, strong and weak interactions, which are subatomic interactions. So electromagnetism, strong and weak interactions, which are very fundamental interactions of light, ultimately of light, at the subatomic level. So all existence is light. I hope this is clear, scientifically clear. Please let me know if this is scientifically clear, that all existence is light. Now, somebody might say, no, existence includes gravity. And yes, it does. That's the whole problem with the fact that we don't have a unified field theory. But gravity is not ultimately the same thing as light. It's the curvature of space-time. Gravity comes into play when mass emerges. And mass, anything that has mass is, in a way, metaphorically think of it, as also frozen light. So once mass emerges, and mass emerges from light, then the interplay of electromagnetic forces and mass, which is ultimately also a product of light, that interaction creates the experience which we call gravity. Okay, so gravity, like anything else, it starts with an experience, heaviness, being stuck to the ground, not being able to fly off, okay, because of inertia or mass, which is ultimately also a product of electromagnetic activity. So when you get that, then there's no problem with the unified field theory. The unified field theory is the interaction of light with light. The unified field theory that Einstein was struggling with is the interaction of light with light, period. The reason Einstein struggled with it is he was a naive realist. He thought the world exists as perceived by the five human senses. We know now. You can look up my conversations with John Hoffman and other conversations, but also the whole conversation around the hard problem of consciousness, but also the fact that the unified field theory is incomplete is not because we don't understand reality. It's incomplete because our whole postulate of reality is based on naive realism. Once again, different conversation, and we don't need to go into it today. Okay, so today I think I have convinced you that all existence is light. Therefore, the essence of everything is light. The essence of everything is light, once we understand. But so far I've only discussed light in terms of electromagnetism, which is not true light, just so you know. But light makes all experience possible, including the experience you and I are having right now. That is the activity of light. So the essence of all existence is light. What is happening in the universe and also with your body and with your life is that the essence does not change. What changes is form, It's been changing all along. In fact, form never stops changing. Today I was reminded of the whole experience of what biologists call metamorphosis. Metamorphosis. And I've mentioned this before, but I want to mention it again. So, a caterpillar is an insect, and one day it becomes a butterfly. And it's amazing, the whole process of form and how form changes. So now I'm going to speak a little metaphorically, but it's based on good science, okay? The caterpillar, when it reaches a certain stage of its development, the cells of the caterpillar, the raw material of the cells of the caterpillar, which also contains DNA, etc., they start to liquefy, they start to degenerate. But there are a few cells within the body of the caterpillar, which some scientists refer to as the imaginal cells, as in imagination. While the rest of the body of the caterpillar is dying, the imaginal cells actually are thriving. In fact, they use the dying carcass of the caterpillar, the liquefaction of that, as their nutritive soup. So they thrive in the midst of death, the imaginal cells. Not only that, they start to connect with each other. And when that connection reaches a critical mass, then a butterfly emerges. Total transformation of one biological organism into what seems like a completely different biological organism, but it has the same genetic information. It's just different aspects of that genetic information have been activated to create a butterfly, and others have been inactivated to get rid of the caterpillar. It's a quantum leap of imagination, metaphorically speaking, and ultimately, literally speaking, when I come to that. Okay, so because what is imagination? It's the creation of an image. Right now you're doing that, by the way, as you're seeing me. You're imagining me. Because all you're seeing is colors and shapes and forms. All you're hearing is sounds. All that's happening is interaction with light. But your imagination and your memory of who you consider Deepak Chopra is projecting and is being constructed in your consciousness as this body-mind appearance. I hope you totally get that. So just when the caterpillar thought that the world was coming to an end, it became a butterfly. This is the real meaning of death as well. Death is change in form, but not change in essence. Just like ice becomes water, that's a change in form, but not in essence. Or water becomes vapor, that's a change in form, but not in essence. Or even vapor becomes atoms, molecules, particles, probability waves. All change in appearance, but not in essence. Just remember this. And essence is here right now. Without that essence, we can't have this experience. Sustaining your changing form. Essence is sustaining your changing form. Without essence, or being, or presence, or awareness, there is no experience of changing form. And yet, the essence is non-changing. So your physical body, on death, disintegrates into a subtler form, which we call mind. Mind. Because mind and body are just different forms of the same essence. Mind is mental activity and body is perceptual activity. The essence is light, not electromagnetic activity, although that's involved. A deeper light, which I'm going to come to in a moment, okay? Essence never transforms, only forms transform, and even the transformation of form is based on essence. Based on essence. Without essence, without being, without awareness, the change in form is not there. So upon death, the physical body dissolves into the mental body. And ultimately, the mental body dissolves into the awareness body. What is the rainbow body? The rainbow body is the entanglement of colors that ultimately shows up as in our physical world, or what we call the physical world, the entanglement of colors that becomes objects of experience. So just take this beautiful object of experience, okay? Visually speaking, it's an entanglement of colors. Just as, look at me, that's an entanglement of colors. Look at the tree outside my window, an entanglement of colors. Look at the paintings, entanglement of colors. Everything you see visually is an entanglement of colors. And that entanglement of colors actually is shape, is the object. Is the object. The only way you experience the object visually is an entanglement of colors. All objects are entanglement of colors. All objects are entanglement of colors. In fact, there are no objects. We interpret the entanglement of colors visually as an object. The entanglement is in consciousness. And then, we do that with every sensation. The entanglement of sound says right now is speech. Okay, the entanglement of fragrances as the smell of a strawberry. The entanglement of tastes as khichdi or rice and lentils. Okay, everything that you experience is an entanglement of certain vibrations. And remember, those vibrations are vibrations of light. Nothing else. Everything that you experience is a vibration of light. Everything. Whether it's a physical body, a book, a watch, a shirt, ultimately even thoughts and images in imagination. They're entanglement of vibrations of the light, which is both physical and non-physical. At the level of the physical, every thought is an electromagnetic activity, electrochemical activity. Every image that you have in imagination is also an electrochemical and ultimately an electromagnetic activity. Any image, any thought, any sensation, any perception is the interaction of light with light. So, what are light beings and rainbow bodies? Light beings are those beings that know they are entangled light. They know that they are entangled light. Therefore, that awareness brings them the ability to be in charge of the entanglement of light, which creates this reality. And depending on the entanglement, there are infinite lokas, locations, location in space-time. But actually, they're not locations in space-time. They're frequency domains of the entanglement of light. And beyond that, there are frequency domains of the entanglement of awareness, which modifies itself as the activity, that is the entanglement of light, which is the self-interaction of light, which creates the entire universe, including the theater of space-time geometry and ultimately expressing itself as electromagnetism, strong and weak interactions, gravity, and everything that we call reality. So, Is this becoming clear? So just let's start with one little understanding of the color red. I was thinking about this. The color red appears red because the wavelength of light that's coming to your eyes and interacting with your retinal cells, okay, is creating the experience that we call color red. The experience itself remains inexplicable to modern science. It's actually part of the hard problem. But there's no problem really if you understand that your eyes, that the act of seeing, that the brain and its neural correlates, and the red strawberry you are seeing is a single unified process. And this process is happening in you. This process is you experiencing itself as all that is. All that is. These are states like of experience, like taste and sensation, but also the emotions associated. Red, impassion, emotion, all the things that go with red. Okay. So, starting with any color, you can explore the entire universe. You and the changing world are one process, and it's an eternal process. And you are both the absolute and the relative in the process. This is what it means to be in the world and not of it. Okay. This is what it means to be in the world and not of it, that you recognize you're both the essence and the changing form. You're both the essence and the changing form, and both are timeless and eternal. The changing form is timeless, and the essence, the absolute, non-changing, is eternal, and the changing form is eternal. And this is what we need to know. What we need to know is that no experience is separate from us. No experience is separate from the essence of our being. Every object is a rainbow body. Every object is a rainbow body. You need only to be aware of it and embrace the understanding that every object is a rainbow body, but it is also transforming into all form and phenomena, the evolving universe. Once you know that you and all existence, and all possible existence are the same, one field, one process, one activity in your own being, you have conquered the fear of death. There is no death. There's only transformation of life, not absence. This is called liberation. If you want, I can continue these discussions on liberation through Tantra, through yoga, through a deeper understanding. This morning, I asked my friend and teacher Eddie Stern, because he's a very good Sanskrit scholar. He saw, I said, send me some words on light, on Sanskrit of light. And he said, Jyoti, brightness as in the divine principle of intelligence or life, and associated with the plants as in Jyotish. What is Jyotish? Vedic astrology that understands the entanglement of the light of awareness. So that's Jyoti. Prakasha, shining light in the sense of the word prakashyate, T, to illuminate, to illuminate. What illuminates is the light of awareness. Deepa, a lamp. Deepak, my name, which is means lighting up, illuminating, kindling, the source of light. Well, that's a nice name that my mother gave me, the source of light, and so I'm trying to live up to it. So there we are. We are entangled in existence as light, and we are all light beings. We all have rainbow bodies. In fact, every object has a rainbow body. The key is to become aware of this, to become aware of the changing form and the essence behind the changing form. That's it. Once you do that, then you can play. You play as a light being with other light beings. You travel in the domain of light beings. Rainbow bodies, different dimensions, even different universes. And there's a way to do it. If you want, we shall explore together. But never forget that you're already a light being and you have a rainbow body. And everything that you see has a rainbow body. And it's sending a message from the entire universe. Well, I hope I haven't gone on too long, drifted. Somebody asked here about darkness. So you see over here, there's some darkness in the background. Ultimately, as we go beyond objects and the entanglement of colors and the entanglement of lights and the entanglement of awareness, there's the dark, invisible, infinite sea of the unknown and unknowable, the inconceivable, the unimaginable, that dark sea, invisible, unfettered, without limitations, without borders, is also you. Because that's the ultimate ground of being from where all this is emerging. Okay, so I am probably going to stop here. Hope says this is not psychologically sound. Well, that opinion is also an entanglement of light. Whether it's sound or not depends on your conditioning and your model of reality. How come reality is common to the human being? Well, same modes of knowing. That's all. It's common to human beings, but it's also sometimes culture specific and different. Thank you.